Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on another client interview. I'm here with Callum Mills. He is doing a great job at the moment in the med spa space. Callum, give me a really quick overview of your agency, how long you've been doing it for, and yeah, just a general overview, man.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad to be here. My name is Callum. I've been in the space for 2 years now, a bit more than that. Been going very up and down, and then last summer in August, I joined CCM. Yeah, that's kind of who I am.
Yeah, love it, man. And so for 2 years, you started in like 2023 when you started doing the agency
I
stuff.
started the Yeah, I started even 2022, but like in the very, very end, and that was you could say like 1 hour a day. I just played around on my website, whatever whatever it was. But that's kind of when the interest come up.
Yeah, love that. And so before joining CCM, what kind were you offering like the appointment setting from the get-go, or
No,
give
no,
me
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
that
no,
timeline, how
Cole.
that
I
works?
started that 2024. Um, I would say around April. That's kind of the first time I offered it, and I remember my first few ISAs or hires I did, and it was so chaotic. It was crazy. And yeah, it just didn't really work out. And that's kind of when I got a bit more serious about this. I finished school last summer, so that's also a kind of a transition period where I did start to take things a bit more serious. And I knew I've got to get my service delivery kind of dialed in. So, and yeah, the call center was definitely part of that I did not want to miss out on.
Yeah, man. What was it that made you wanna, even before CCM, like April 2024, what was it that
Mhm.
made you think, damn, I better start doing the call center piece of the puzzle as well?
To be honest, just because I saw those other agencies kind of do it, so I was like, hey,
Mm.
that's the way to do it, but also because it made sense to me because you have control for actually delivering results. I've been in programs before, and in one of the programs, I would say one of the big lessons I learned is just to really have the best product and the best service and be very results based, not kind of how you get there. So I try to build my entire delivery around not just kind of the service or the features, but more so kind of the results we can get to really make sure our clients are seeing actual revenue, cash, and all the thing kind of when they do work with us. And we just found, hey, look, it's way easier if we kind of do the call center part two. You get higher conversion rates, you have a longer lifetime value, you can ask more or you can charge more. It's just, I think once you have got it dialed in, it's just there is no big downside except of some operational complexity. Um, so that's kind of why I went into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great point. Like getting the product locked in is so important, right? Like
Mhm.
not even just for attention, but even for your own conviction on sales calls, right?
100%.
Like if you don't have a good product, you're just gonna feel like a scammer. It's gonna be horrible. So yeah, I fully agree with that, man. And so from April to August, you were trying to build the call center out yourself, right? What were the kind of challenges you were facing when trying to do it on your own?
I will say it's probably number one is it just was a massive mess. It's like it wasn't I of course I had like a go high level snapshot, I had some automations, I had a rough follow-up process, but everything was kind of all over the place. There was no structure, there was no like proper reliable system. I didn't have the data, I didn't know how efficient I actually was. I didn't have an overview of the results we got. So I would just say the whole thing was super chaotic. And yeah, in the end, like again, I didn't even know the like appointment booking rates and kind of the metrics for the call center part before I joined CCM. Um, but it was just not working out essentially.
Yeah. When people don't have even basic things like the reporting, right? If you don't have that, you have no eyes over anything. You just don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. You don't know what's working. You're just trusting your ISAs or your setters, whatever you want to call them, to phone up leads. And yeah, you just don't know, right? It's
And
just
I will say this is something I'm still like trying to kind of ingrain into my head. Whereas like I try to or month by month, I realize that I just prioritize reporting more and more. It's just look, I don't know what it is. Um, but for example, also with CCM, I had all the reporting built out in the very beginning already. But I remember and still up to that point, I'm not using the full like advantage of the reporting. And I think before I joined CCM, that was like again the biggest thing. Like I didn't even know what's going on. It was just look, just throwing a bunch of leads and names and emails to the ISAs, just giving them like one script and having an automated SMS text follow-up process and just telling her, hey, call 7 days a week, whatever. Like that was
Yeah.
initially the process. And so yeah, that's kind of again, it wasn't scalable, it wasn't predictable, it wasn't consistent, and you don't if you don't know the numbers, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. Was there a specific thing that happened that made you think, damn, I better book a call with CCM and like was there anything that like, specific thing that happened?
I will say, I will say there were, I just saw if so I'm in Easy Grow. I've been in Easy Grow, and I know you're a coach there, so I had one or two conversations with you there. But overall, it was just, and I would say this is probably something that kept me back in a lot of different aspects of business, but I think it's also good to a certain degree that I always like I in the beginning even I started out working for all clients without asking for any money just because I was very convinced like, hey, look, I want them to actually genuinely get results, like great
Mm.
results. And it kept me back in certain angles and others. It helped me kind of build something solid. But essentially, that's kind of where I started to realize, hey, look, if you look at the whole process, like, yeah, we're getting leads, we're running ads, but they're seeing not enough patients showing up, not enough cash and revenue generated. So somehow, for me to be able to fulfill guarantees and actually get them great results and justify charging a higher price, then I've got to make them more money in very simple terms. So that's kind of that. And on top of that, I did, again, I know you from Easy Grow slightly, and I saw a few case studies. So I was pretty bought in already. And I knew, hey, look, that's kind of the step for me to go because I know that if you get service delivery kind of, yeah, solved or fixed and kind of dialed in, it will just make life business so much easier.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, dude, it's spot on. Like it's so funny how like pretty much all of my clients like they follow this same path of like trying to do it on their own and they some of them, to be fair, some people like they from the very get-go, they're just like, I've heard this thing's hard. Let me just work with call center mastery straight away. But most people like they try and do it on their own. They realize that they need to get a better product, better solution, that kind of thing, and it goes from there. Did you have any kind of fears or worries? Like, was there anything on your mind before jumping in that you were like, oh, what maybe because there's a lot of let's be real, there's a lot of like programs out there, and a lot of them, we were kind of talking about this just before we started recording that there are a lot of ones that maybe aren't so great, and maybe they're a little bit more diluted and things like that. Was there anything on your mind where you were concerned at all about anything about all this stuff?
I will say, since a lot of things changed in summer, that's kind of when I really started this full time. I will say, like, I wasn't too aware of other competitors essentially. And the only person I knew of that even provided such a thing to call center mastery, which in my opinion is completely unique. There is no kind of comparison. But still, like, I just didn't even know other people that were, yeah, whatever, supposedly doing the same thing. Generally said though, no, I did not have any fears or again, I was already because I already had a conversation, I think, with you in Easy Grow, I
Yeah,
kind of already trust you or felt good about this. Um,
yeah,
I remember the day I was on the call with one of your closers or consultants is we got to the end and I was like, I knew I need to do this. Like I was on my schedule for the weekend. My only task was to rebuild call center process and everything. And I was like, I've got to get this done as soon as possible. Monday, I've got to launch client projects. And I was on this call with your team on Thursday, and I'm like, ooh, let me think about it. Let's do a follow-up. And I was like, no, I cannot be thinking about this now. Like I've got to move on. So I was just, let's just do it. So
yeah,
that
man. There's
kind of
always there's always that fear. Like even myself, like before, especially as like you're still relatively new on the journey, right? And so to invest into a program, it's like you're a smart guy, like you've got to invest in things, but you still get that thing in the back of your mind, that like
of
little bit of
course.
fear, right? No matter what, and you're like, oh, and it's just like makes you feel a bit like, oh, I'm not sure. And I get that as well, and it's just like that's honestly like part of sales as well. I think it's like
Yeah.
if you're speaking to someone and they are giving like they're fearful, if something's genuinely right for the person, it's your job to like talk them through it and make sure it's like actually the best thing for them, right? If you're a
Yeah.
sales guy and you're it's not the best thing for them and you're just trying to convince them, then that's scummy, right? Obviously, you shouldn't do that. So yeah, it's hard, man. But you know you took the dive and obviously it worked out. So yeah, it's awesome, man. And so when going through course and mastery, how did you find building it out? Was there any problems you were finding or anything that you found particularly difficult?
So I will say, there are some things that are a bit more like it is a technical program, you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
And for me personally, I see the positive in it, and I like it a lot because of that, because it's not just, okay, I'll install the right or the same blueprint and blah blah blah. It's more of like you've got to go with the flow, and you've got to kind of learn those skills yourself. You've got to be able to build out those automations, kind of do those integrations between multiple tech stacks and that kind of stuff. And that's
Yeah,
something I really liked about it, because I don't want to, like, I want to know what I'm doing. I want to be able to replicate it hypothetically. Um, but yeah, so I wouldn't say there are any difficulties. The reporting takes more maintenance than I was expecting in the beginning. But to a certain degree, again, like for me, reporting has become more and more important. So I'm willing to kind of make that time sacrifice and yeah, maintain it. Um,
for sure.
but I think with the coaching calls and everything, if you just go through videos, if you ask questions, if you've got issues, there should not be any issues that should, yeah, keep you back in building me out.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love like I'm glad that you recognize that. I try not to just give people everything. I try to actually explain how it works. Because if
Mhm.
you want to make your own changes, if you want to make your own updates and do whatever you want, then you have the knowledge, you have the
Exactly.
skill base, right? To be able to do what you want there, which is yeah, which I think is super key.
And I don't want to cut you off, but I think that's
Okay.
something I want to touch on. Whereas I think what's really, really cool about the whole thing is not just the basic blueprint, because again, that's what a lot of people try to copy and paste, but it's just not the same thing. It's, as you said, it's very diluted. But the cool thing is about the program is too that there are, you can, and you will, when you get into it, you will build so much extra custom stuff on top of it. And I just saw Gabe's video today for the free Ross, for the what do you consolidation, and like to kind of see how you can expand on the existing workflows, automation scenarios, whatever it is so cool, because it kind of opened up entirely new doors for entirely, yeah, new ways of doing things and automating things, and yes, streamlining operations, not just in the call center part, but also in other areas of the business.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's the great thing about like the call center side of things, like with a group like this, is that we attract smart people who like actually care about their business and their product. We don't
Mhm.
attract people that are just like piff, yeah, 5K piff. Like we don't really attract them kind of guys, right? Because we
Yeah.
actually are building like something like real here. And so the cool thing about it is that because we've just got like a big group now of smart people that are all working on their businesses, that there are so many times that I'm learning from the group now, right? Like Michael, one of the members recently posted something about how he was handling inbound calls and go high level. And like he showed me the bit, like he's posted the video, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't think of that before." I was like,
Is that in school? Because I haven't got
Yeah,
any.
yeah, yeah." He does basically. Quick side, like, oh no, we'll keep this in the interview. It's not a problem. But quick side note, he actually he basically has go high level because obviously when you're doing inbound calling and go high level, unless you're in the actual sub account, it won't notify the agent,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So what he does is he has a sub account now called like inbound calling,
Oh,
and he
okay.
puts that number as the forwarding number for all the other accounts, and he puts a whisper message, and the whisper message is the name of the account. So when someone calls it, so all these agents have got to do is sit on that one go high level account now. All the numbers, all the phone calls get dialed into that one, and then when he answers the phone, a whisper message just says the name of the client that is for that lead, and then
Yeah.
bam, like he just knows it.
Oh, that's cool. So you can kind of pin one sub account, you have it open all the time, and then you get that's
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So stuff like that, right? So like he told me that, and I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I didn't think of that. That's a great idea. It's so simple when you think about it, but I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And so we get this like research and development like as a
As a
mastermind now,
group.
as a group,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
100%.
Yeah,
And I think I want to kind of repeat what you said because that stands out to me. I think what's cool about call center mastery, it's like again, it's not a group where people just come in like for piffs and all that kind of stuff, but it's like genuinely people that care about the product and about getting results. And I think like now that you say this, it's like wow, damn that yeah, that's 100%.
yeah, that's exactly it, man. We don't, and any guys that do come in and they want some like quick win and they want like they often they don't really come in like I don't want to mention the guy's name, but the guy we literally were talking about, who joined the program for like a day and then left because like he come in and he like looked and he was like, oh, this isn't some way to make money really quickly. This is like actually
Work.
work. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually building a call center. It's like, yeah, dude. Like, if you're, and by the way, if you're watching this and you're like a guy that is like just trying to get to 100K a month as soon as you can, just so you can post it on your Instagram, and then like don't get like this is honestly this isn't for you. Like, don't join because we want to. We're all going to get to 100K a month, 200K, 500K a month, but it's going to be like we do it gradually, and we've got some agencies in there that are already doing 500 to a million a month. And even
for
them
real.
guys like they still like they join call center mastery because they haven't got that call center piece locked in, and it's such an important part. And so obviously building it all out, you've been through that bit. Did you have any particular favorite parts? I know you mentioned about obviously running the reporting and some other stuff. Was there any bits that you were like, this is the bit I actually really enjoyed this particular bit?
Um, I think there are a lot of things. I mean, right now, the free ROS thing you brought out, I think that's pretty cool because that's
Yeah.
something I've been kind of looking for doing myself, like on docs, and I went through every lead and I checked which ad they
Oh
came
God,
from and
yeah.
everything. So that's yeah, I would say like in general, the extra software that comes with the program, I think is kind of again something that can be of real value. The reporting, of course. I also like the human module about hiring and recruiting and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Although right now I found that for scaling, I feel like LinkedIn is still the best option, but I've been getting higher quality prospects from onlinejobs.ph or something like that.
Cool.
Um, but again, like to also kind of again see like a proper hiring funnel, how you can just cut the time it takes to hire somebody like 5x, whatever it is, like to have those systems. And again, it is a technical program. It's not mindsets and whatever it is. But I think
Yeah.
that's what I really like about it because it gives you the systems. And yes, it does come with work, but it's essentially all laid out in a way to keep operations as simple as possible, but also for you to be able to scale. Because I think one of the biggest things with call centers in general, and I just this month I hired two new ISAs full time. So I kind of noticed this is that if you do decide or you do want to scale, having that again infrastructure is just so important. And I
Yeah.
think when I think back of the time where I didn't have the CCM infrastructure, like it would have been impossible to hire a second ISA.
It is. It makes me laugh when I hear about these agencies that charge like 2 grand a pop for like
Mhm.
a setter. And I'm like, what? Like, why are people paying? Like, just follow. I've even got some of the stuff now on YouTube. On my YouTube, I've literally just like some of the basic stuff. I'm just like, look, just do this. Stop paying agencies. You just don't need to pay them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So now you've taken us from the start all the way through to it, and now you've obviously you finish CCM. You don't really finish it, right? Like it's always updating. You're always putting new things into it. But at this point now, like, how's the agency going? How's the call center going? Give me like an overview of what it's like now.
I will say, yeah, the last 2 months, and I think that's again when things are have started to compound, not just from CCM port, but also from the agency and other areas. We're crushing it. I mean, I remember a year ago, my first few call center clients, we hardly got patients coming in. I remember this one client, and we got a shit ton of leads. But and like leads is again the first step, but everybody forgets about what's behind that. We got them, I think, two or three people showing up on a month, and I don't know. We were supposedly doing everything right, but right now, again, it's been a game changer, not just because we're actually getting better results, but also because I feel better with the service and product. I know we can genuinely help. And I know that my lifetime value would go up more and more and more. Our clients are like just 2 weeks ago, we launched a client. In the first 2 weeks, they had 23 prepaid patients. We have a 25 to 35% booking rate,
Good
which
stuff.
still has room for improvement. But
And those are prepaid, those 25 to 30%.
all prepaid, yeah.
Oh, dude, crushing it, man. That's so sick.
So
Yeah.
to kind of see those results is very satisfying, and I think it fulfills me way more than seeing like B2B sales results because I'm like I feel so good that at the end of the day if I know my clients are absolutely killing it.
Oh, amen. Amen. It warms your heart, right? Like it
Yeah.
just feels good. Like when your like client is like, thank you so much, Callum. Like you've helped me,
Yeah.
like whatever else. You're like, it's not obviously no, we're all here to make money, right? No, we're not going to deny
Yeah.
that. But when you see that benefit and the impact you're having, yeah,
It gives you conviction. I just and the cool thing is with this in particularly with this client, I just randomly raised prices because I thought, why not? Look, I know how to close. Like, let me just go up with the price a good bit. And I'm still closing at the same percentage. And the first person I pitched this higher price point to, she closed on a split PIF, so just a split payment. And then after that, it's a monthly retainer. And that's kind of this person where we're getting so insane results for. And it's just so reinforcing to, yeah, I make money on one hand. I make more money because I can charge more for it. I know I will retain them for longer because they're so much more satisfied. But on the other hand, like they're actually crushing it. It's not just sending a bunch of names and emails over. They're getting prepaid patients coming in that are qualified, that are interested, that are ready to be sold on essentially. So it's very cool.
yeah. That's so good, man. I love hearing that stuff. Um, yeah, Callum, thank you so much for jumping on and doing this for me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you on the coaching calls, man.
Yeah. See you then.
Bye.